Hey guys, and welcome to another Polymer Clay tutorial. Today we are going to create the Storm King from Fortnite in Chapter 2. ClayClaim. You can be really excited about today's video because we will not only create the Storm King, the epic Storm King. No, I asked you to give me some hints, to give me some background stories on this very character. And I got amazing stories, and I picked 5 of these, 3 from Instagram, 2 from Twitter, and I will read them out. I will share these stories with you to get some more information on this mysterious character. But let's talk about the creation at first. This is the amateur I am building. It's the very first of its kind, and I try to get the wire very smooth with the cup, and it works pretty well. All these materials I am using right now, I made like a package, and you can buy these colors all in the online store, ClayClaim.com. I will tell you later more about that project. Now let's take some blue and let's cut out the shape. The blueprint is quite helpful, and we will create the chest part of the blue king, of the Storm King. And after that we can place it onto the wire, but first I want to make sure that we include all the important areas of the front part. Okay, it's time for the very first story. Oh, I'm so excited. So this was posted on Instagram. This is the back side, the back of the Storm King, by the way. SH Films 32 wrote, "The Storm King was born a little boy. One day, there was a very strong and deadly storm. The boy disappeared into the storm because he lost his teddy bear. The evil came along and found the boy lost with his teddy bear. The evil saw how perseverant the boy was and decided he could use someone with that quality. So with his freakishly evil powers, the evil transformed that small boy into the Storm King we know and despise today." Ugh. Thank you so much. Amazing story. Meanwhile, we are throwing in pink. No, it's more lavender, I think. And it changes the blue slightly, so we have the variety in the front with all the nice colors. Look at that. It already looks so amazing. And now with these details, with the storm signs onto the skin. Oh, it looks amazing. I love that character design, which Epic Games came up with. Let's read the next story. This one was posted on Twitter. Frostly the Great posted. He is the corrupted version of Kevin, the more evil, pure evil. He's come to help the Kevin of his universe, of this universe, that is being worked on in the Steamy Stacks factory. He thinks by taking over the island, he will be able to stop the process on Kevin in the factory and use the power himself. I like that one. I really like that one. Many of you wrote that the Storm King is somehow Kevin the Cube in a way. Here you see how I took the image for Instagram. So this was quite funny that many of you thought that the Storm King has somehow the DNA of the Kevin the Cube. Maybe it is a storyline in the future. Well, who knows? We are adding more and more blue colors, and I'm not sure if you are seeing this right now. This is shadows. I am painting with clay with a little slightly darker blue, and it works perfectly on the lower part of the muzzles to get this shadow effect. I hope you get me with that. Then we have some tiny points. It's just skin texture and changes. Maybe he is quite old, who knows? And we are throwing in some more pink to create the hands, the claws. Nah, it's more like claws, not really hands. With many of you in mind which want to recreate this creation, a big advice would be, well, I just created the body all solid clay. If I would recreate this thing again, I would probably use some aluminum foil for all the huge body parts and then just do the cover work with clay to get the creation more lightweight. Now, more about the set I created for you. This is the Storm King set, the blueprint set you can get in the online store with all the tools you need. No, not the tools, but the materials. The materials are included, and yeah, I just realized that we also have a little bit of yellow for the eyes. We have the wire, wool, and wait a minute, my blueprint. Yeah, it's true. In one of these sets, we have prepared 10 of these. In one of these is my blueprint, the dirty one I used in this tutorial. Yeah. But this is just a fun fact. Let's read the next story while preparing the head. This one was posted on Instagram on my account ClayClaim, @ClayClaim, from Psydaku. Once there was an old weather reporter who was tired of reporting all of the same boring news, and he felt he wasn't living up to his potential. He created a machine that made a deadly storm appear. He got exactly what he wanted by becoming famous for being the only one who could predict these storms. But that didn't satisfy him. He kept tinkering with his storm machine to make it even deadlier. His body began to mutate due to his storm machine. I'm getting goosebumps. Until he became a mindless monster and his storm machine was left on for eternity. Oh boy. This is my favorite so far. Psydaku, thank you so much for these ideas for this story. Maybe another word of advice how to create the head of the Storm King. I tried to create it in different parts. This makes it way more easy. The mandible, for example, then the upper part of the head. Now we have the eyes. And the toilet paper does a pretty good job that the different parts are not stucking together when you don't want them to stuck together. Now we take some gray, some blue, bright blue, the aqua version of blue, and you can also, if you have, throw in some black, because the horns on the head are really dark. I decided to create them this way, and I will paint them afterwards. After often hardening, I want to make them really dirty with black acrylic paint, and then we will get in these runes, these bright, shiny pink runes. We have some more thorns on the sides. Look at that. This is the one from the replay I used, and we have some more elements. These will be a pleasure to paint on afterwards, but you will see that in a minute. This is how I'm creating color gradients. It's just a simple folding technique folding, folding, folding. The gap where the two colors are touching will become the color gradient after a while. Maybe I folded it like 15 times, it was a lot. And then you can go on, you can create the horns. This is the color of the horns in the replay, but when you look at some artworks from Epic Games, you have really black ones. I created these at first. You can also stick in some wire to make them more stable, or you can, if you don't have a very thin wire, the wire is also included in the set, by the way. You can just put it into the oven hardening, and then work with the oven hardened horns after that. But what I wanted to say, the horns on the artworks are really black and I like them even more, so this is why I decided to paint the creation afterwards. This is the crystal or the crystals on the chest, and this is the dark blue, which is also included in the set on ClayClaim.com. And we have some more crystals. After I finished all these different crystal parts, I remembered that there is an even better color, which is the translucent one. And this one would become a little bit shiny and transparent. I think maybe right now I prefer the solid color, but I will throw in some translucent that you can see the difference. This is the back part of the Storm King, and while creating we should read the next story. This one is more like a short idea, was posted on Twitter from Wild EJ West. He's the man who controls the storm. He's the reason you are never in zone. I like that one, I like the idea, and well, thanks a lot for that. I have the final story was posted on Instagram. 6060, great spelling of the name. Once upon a time, there was a stubborn child named Jake who liked to cause mischief. One time he was playing hide and seek with his friends by the storm. Jake hid on a hill on the edge of the storm, and as he was readjusting, he fell down the mountain and into the storm. Oh boy, what happens next? What happens next? Well, I will tell you after a short break, because we will put the creation into the oven. This is the stand I was creating with all the leftover pieces of the clay in the set, and we're ready to go into the oven. Freshly baked Storm King! Now what happened to the boy? What happened to Jake? I will tell you. Luckily, Jake had a plethora of healing items and was able to live in the storm for 57 days. Each day, Jake getting larger and swelling from the storm. Then the 57th day came and all of a sudden he no longer took damage, but could actually control the storm. Thank you! This was a great last story. I enjoyed reading so many of them. I'm really sorry I was not able to put more stories into this video, into today's video. Let's do this a regular thing. Let's do this as much as possible. You creating good stories, because you are way better in coming up with crazy ideas. This is the finished work. You've seen that I just painted with the black pen to get some more texture and contour onto the horns, and this is the transparent polish on all the crystals to make them really shiny. Last working step, guys. Some wool, which is also included in the set. Sorry for advertising this. I only have 10 of these, so I won't become really rich by selling these. It's just $28 for all the materials. And this is the storm. We will wrap it around Some of you wrote, I read some comments saying, this creation looks like Aladdin from, no, like Genie from Aladdin. Somehow that's true. I add just a little bit of white for the shiny. And guys, that's it! The Storm King from Fortnite! Save the world, but also Chapter 2! Now that we finished the Storm King, it's time for you to create your own version with a blueprint set with the Storm King. In the online store you get all the colors. You have the wire which you need, you even get the wool for the cool whirl effect. And I think there is some yellow missing, so I make sure that we will include some yellow as well. Now this is the wrong one. Yeah, this is the right yellow for the eyes. So yellow is included. I hope you enjoyed the video, have a great weekend and take care guys. Bye! Sorry, I love you all. You are coming up with so many amazing stories. I love you all. Thank you. Have a great weekend.